Auburn Blitz is now on the air. Your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into the latest edition of the Auburn Blitz. Glad that you joined us out there. Brett Pritchard and Randy Lee here with you for your lunch break, and glad that you've joined us out there. Our program is brought to you each and every day by Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores, Mortgage Pro there at McKinley Team, Big Fish Real Estate Group at Lake Martin, and J.A. Smith Construction. And glad to have all four as big partners here on the program. Just recently, a timeline thing came up on Facebook, and Stacy McKinley with Big Fish Real Estate Group said, "Man, has that been 2 years ago?" I was like, "Yeah." I said, "It's time to have you guys back on." And I mean, they got a new building down there, and we like to highlight all of our corporate partners and all the great things they've got going on. There's four good ones right there.
Well, a beautiful building. If you haven't seen it down 34 heading into or past Davil around the Stillwaters area, it's you can't miss it. If you're riding down that stretch at, what is that, 50?
No, it's 49.
49,
yeah.
It's 49. And
50 goes to the right on
50
down the
goes
road.
to the right. You got to get up just a little ways.
Yeah, that's right.
Me and directions never really.
Never have hit it off.
We worked out real well together, but nonetheless, 49. But it's,
you get there, it doesn't matter, right?
I know how to get there. I have been there a few times and done my fair share of delivering for our companies down that way. But it is a wonderful business that they run there, and if you haven't been by to see the building, they don't B-team anything.
No,
Eric McKinley and his crew B-teams nothing.
That's right. Great people, great businesses. Make sure you go down there and check that place out. They got some other cool things that'll be going in as well. Get down to business here. A lot to talk about. Auburn back on the hardwood tonight against a very, very good Missouri team that's really hitting their stride right now. At 19-6, 7-5. Auburn, Kentucky, and Missouri all locked in there in fourth place in this conference. Alabama is the new #1 team. We all puked on that, and again, you can't have anything, right? You got to go on up there and jump up to #1. But anyway, we'll talk a little bit about that here in just a little bit. But Auburn 17-8, and they're reeling. And I think Bruce Pearl said this pretty simply yesterday. He said it's just win or go home at this point. He said there's nothing I can do as far as challenging them. I'll grow my beard out, or I'll shave my head, or I'll lose 50 pounds, or whatever. At this point, your back's against the wall. He said this is a must-win tonight for Auburn. I fully believe it is. If they were to drop this game here, they're in jeopardy of not making the tournament. Well,
both of these teams are probably right there on the line. I think Missouri is at least leaning towards being confidently in with that record and up to 19 wins, but they lose to Auburn here. They're 19-7 and 7-6 in the conference. They're right on that cut line as well. So that will tell you how hard they will play here in this ball game. And Auburn is reeling, Brett. We're not playing bad basketball. We're just not scoring the ball all that well. From a defensive standpoint, from an effort standpoint, we can sit up here and act like we're basketball coaches and second guess some of the decisions that are being made. But I don't watch Auburn play and think that the effort's not there and the plan's not there.
Sometimes your players just aren't good enough. I mean,
I agree.
It's not a cut on that. I mean, this is just what we're running out there. And you had three freshmen that you were going to rely on coming in, highly touted, and you're getting basically nothing out of them. I mean, Trey Donaldson's giving you some minutes, but Yohan Trejo, I sound like a dadgum broken record. I say this every dadgum week. He's giving you nothing. And then Chance Wester's injured. So your roster's thin. And what we got out there are some good players, but not great players.
Yeah.
And, Wendell Green gives you above and beyond what he's probably supposed to be giving you at this point. Alan Flanagan is exactly who we all thought he would be. Janai Broome has been consistent all year, but there's been a couple of games, especially in some of these losses, where he hadn't been able to find it, and that's been a big problem. Just don't have a very long, deep roster, and the players we put out there are good, but they're not great. So I think they're reflective of the record.
Well, in today's basketball, you'd like to have some older guys mixed in with the younger guys, but you really need the younger guys to step in today's basketball and college basketball and step in and make an immediate impact.
Right.
And some years you go out there and you recruit well and they work out and they end up on the court like Jabari Smith last year and Okoro and Okiki, I can keep going down the list, and they make an immediate impact. And you look at Brandon Miller for Alabama side, I don't think Brandon Miller was much higher of a prospect than Traore, or much higher of a prospect than Chance Westry. But Alabama goes out and gets him, and he's the number one player in the country, if you got to ask me. I mean, he's averaging 20 points per game, 8 rebounds per game. He's 6'9". He looks like a pro out there, and he's made the biggest difference. Where vice versa, Auburn goes out and gets a 6'6" shooting guard, which is exactly – if I were to ask you, what does this Auburn team need to take the next step, you would say outside shooting. Right. Length at the guard position, outside shooting. Well, Bruce Pearl knew that, and he went and got one of the best shooters and a 6'6" guard to go with it, and it just hasn't worked out.
You look at Alabama, it wasn't Brandon Miller that beat Auburn. Auburn defended him well. It was 3 guys, a couple coming off the bench, and a couple other freshmen that really stepped up and made shots when they needed to. And so, again, you do what you can to take away a guy that averages 20 points a game, and they're deep enough to hurt you with other guys. And that's the difference in this team. You know, Javon Quinterly was a big contributor and starter on this team last year. He can't even get on the floor this year. I mean, I think he played 3 minutes in a game on Saturday. So that just tells you where they are depth-wise. And if Auburn were to be getting, 10, 12 points a game out of Traore, and Chance Westry was healthy and he was averaging 14 points a game, now it's a whole different ballgame. Yeah. This is a whole different looking sheet here probably. But, take that, and if you take Janai Broome out of the mix with all the other injuries, Auburn's probably got 11, 12 wins at this point. So there's a couple different ways to look at it. They do have a stretch right here that's very favorable, and it can start tonight. They got Missouri, then they got to go on the road to Vanderbilt is tough on the road. I mean, there is not a team in this league that's going to just roll over and die for you.
Yeah, I'll be there Saturday night.
So
and heading over to watch and looking forward to that. But that is a very winnable game. It's a must-win situation for Auburn at this point.
Right.
Hopefully we'll have a good crowd show up for Auburn to represent there, and I think we will in Nashville. And it's still a program that you want to travel on the road and go see. So Auburn has really built themselves up to be that, Brett. But this Missouri and Vandy game,
then Ole Miss
2 winnable games. That's another winnable game, and you got to win all of them.
If you don't win that one, just go ahead and decide you're not playing in the NCAA.
Because Kentucky and Alabama to close things
Kentucky,
out.
Alabama, Tennessee.
All 3 of them tough. If you win one of those 3, you'd feel good about yourself.
Yeah, probably not going to go to Tuscaloosa and win. Got a legit shot to go to Rupp Arena. I know that sounds stupid with a team, but, I mean, Arkansas just rolled in there and blew their doors off. And this Kentucky team is not very good.
Odd offensively.
Yeah, so you got an opportunity if you're hitting shots that day to go up to Rupp and win. And we all know about Tennessee. You got Tennessee at home. This is not a good offensive team. They're a team that's lost 3 or 4. They got Alabama next, probably going to lose 4 or 5. And if we'd have done what we should have done, they'd have 5 losses in a row. So this is Tennessee's winnable, Kentucky's winnable, Ole Miss and Vanderbilt are winnable. Right here starting tonight, you're looking at a situation where on the best case scenario for Auburn, you win 5 of your last 6. And now you're really going in and playing good. You count Missouri as a win tonight. Let's say you beat Vanderbilt, Ole Miss, go home the road, got some momentum, beat Kentucky, give it to Alabama and say, look, we concede, you're good at home, you're great on the road too. So we'll say that's a loss, but you come home and you defend your home court against a Tennessee team that can't shoot very well. That's 5 of 6. I mean, now you're looking at a whole different ball game going into the SEC tournament.
Well, if you get to those 22 wins for the SEC tournament, I feel with 100% confidence Auburn makes it in.
You're in.
If Auburn enters that SEC tournament with just 20 wins,
it's bubble city.
You're probably on the bottom side of that bubble too, with the need to win 1, maybe 2 games in the SEC tournament. So that's
right.
How important this one tonight can be is I think 21 wins is probably right there on the bubble. I think if Auburn can get to 22 wins and then maybe get another win in the SEC tournament and go to 23, it's a definitive that you're going to be in.
I mean, look, if Auburn finishes 5 out of 6 in the regular season, they're in. I mean, you went on the road to Kentucky, even though they're not as good as they have been, and you get a win, and you win at home against a Tennessee team that at one point in time was number 2 in the country. And, that also includes a tough win on the road against Vanderbilt. So Ole Miss not going to get you any points. You just got to take care of business with that game at home. But outside of that, I mean, there's some opportunity here coming down the stretch. Getting close to our first break, when we come back, we'll talk about this Missouri team coming in to Neville Arena, riding a hot streak. Just hit a buzzer beater on Saturday against Tennessee, but they're playing really well right now. They're 19-6, they're 7-5, and we'll talk about some of their top players when we come back. Also, we'll talk a little bit baseball. Softball this past weekend got off to a start. Baseball starts is coming up Friday. They moved the start time of that Friday game up to 4 o'clock because it's going to be frigid. Of course, baseball season starts 28 degrees. Then you just set your watch to it. So just getting started here. Stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route, to work, to home, to the beach. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Don't be caught in a dirty vehicle. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have your vehicle or boat looking like brand new in no time, and you'll be back driving in style. They specialize in detailing, paint correction, gel coat restoration, and ceramic coating. Take it to the professionals at Lake Martin Mobile Detailing. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or stop by and see them at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville. Mention this ad and receive $10 off. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing for your cleanest vehicles around.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
Skag, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. the clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that Skag means productivity and reliability. Every Skag mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. Skag.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
J.A. Smith Construction, with 19 years experience, is your trusted choice for construction. Site clearing and grading for new home construction, basement excavation, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 334-531-0199 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz here. 45 minutes left in today's show. Get your comments in, get your calls in, 256-234-6221 if you'd like to be part of the program. Got Missouri coming in tonight at 6 o'clock. Again, Bruce Pearl labeled this a must-win game. Here's a quote, or a few quotes from Bruce Pearl. Said, they're all big at this point, but I think the biggest game of the year for us is tonight. This is a must-win. Why is that? Pearl said for a few reasons. Missouri's composite's a 7 seed in the bracketology right now. Auburn is an 8 seed. Missouri, Auburn, and Kentucky are all tied for 4th, like we just talked about, at 7 and 5. So you're trying to separate yourself, and you got Kentucky coming up here in about a week. All of those teams that are sandwiched in there, you can kind of separate yourself because you're going to play those teams, and you can kind of vault yourself up into that 3rd position here in the conference, or maybe even get close to creeping up to 2nd, depending on how Texas A&M plays coming down the street.
You know, the unfortunate thing for Auburn is they all have the same opportunity. I mean, they're looking at this game exactly the way that we're looking. So it all is dependent on offensive output for Auburn. It's a broken record. I know we sound like that, but if Flanagan, Jalen Williams, Katie Johnson, if those guys outside of Wendell Green, Janai Broome can play well, and you can get a couple of them in double figures, then you like Auburn's chances. You know, Alan Flanagan had to work so hard defensively on Saturday. I mean, we had him manned up with Miller, and I thought he did a really good job.
He did his job.
I thought he kept us in the ball game. You're not going to hold Miller down. You may look up at the end of the game, and he may have 20 points, and you really played well. Like in the first half, he ends up with 8 points in the first half, and I don't think we could have played him any better than
I mean, he's just a great player.
Yeah.
And he's going to find a way to get some shots and some buckets. But overall, he was 0 for 7 from outside. So he did not have a game that you would think would be good enough to get Alabama a win on the road unless they have players like they've got.
And we talked to Jason Caldwell this past Friday, and he said the type of game I think Auburn can win is a high 60s, low 70s, ugly basketball game, and it's right where it was. We just got to find a way to close these things out, Brett. And I know that it's probably driving Bruce Pearl batty to be sitting there and figuring that out. But, you know, unfortunately for this team, I think a lot of times we just say, here you go, Wendell. Go win it for us. Go find a way. And people want to knock him. But, my gosh, any of us that have played with guys that can go and get a shot when needed and you're unable to consistently, then you kind of defer to him and look over there at him and say, please go make something happen. And unfortunately for this team, especially when the defense is pushed out, he feels like the only guy that can go get a bucket.
He's the only one. And, you know, it goes back to what we've talked about the last few weeks. He has no help as far as from any other guards. Zep Jasper, again, is just – I know he's a defensive specialist, but you got to be able to provide something offensively. He's not giving you anything.
He gives you nothing.
Katie Johnson may be the biggest piece of all of this. Again, when you bring freshmen in, you don't know how they're going to play. But Katie Johnson was a guy that when he came over from Georgia was one of the hottest players in this conference. In the first, I guess, 3/4 of a season with Auburn, he was a guy put 20 up on the board and shoot your eyeballs out. And somewhere around a little bit past midseason last year, something happened. And he hadn't been the same player. And he worked hard in the offseason. I remember reading all the stuff.
Yeah.
You know, KD Johnson working hard. And then he goes to Israel, and it's the same stuff, Brick City. And it's like, man, something's just off with him. And you're like, maybe he'll get it, maybe he'll find it when he gets back, you know, into getting ready for the season. And his reduction in production has hurt this team as much or more than anything else. If you have KD consistent every night, 14, 15 points a game to go along with Wendell Green, and then you add in the other pieces, Auburn maybe wins 2 or 3 more of these games they've lost at the end. But he's got wide open shots, man, and he just misses. He had a couple against Alabama Saturday were wide open and nothing. I mean, just
well,
can't
you
hit
could
it.
see Alabama just giving up those shots.
Absolutely.
You know, it's already
smart defense.
It already feels like the conversation in the locker room is anyone that's been in man defense, you know the ones that you got to run out on and the ones that you kind of sag back, and you say if that guy wants to take that shot, you consider it a win.
That's exactly
take your chances. The percentages are in our favor, and you're starting to sense that a little bit. I thought KD played better, especially in the first half. His energy is always there. It's a neat thing out there on the court.
He creates some stuff. Yes, he really.
But he'll turn one over in a heartbeat too, and he'll have some really bad shots and gets out of sorts at times. And unfortunately, we got 2 guys like that because Alan Flanagan's the imps of that. He can go for 15 or 16, and you want him to do that, but then he'll have 2 or 3 possessions where he's out of whack.
Well, here's Auburn again faced with length, and again, you know, this is a problem for this team. I mean, they're big across the board as far as from the guard positions and you know, forwards. I mean, you got 6'8", 6'10", 6'5", 6'5", 6'5", 6'8". I mean, you know, this is what Auburn's got to deal with. You know, they're a smaller team. We have to do things a little bit more unorthodox. You know, we still play good defense, but it starts with Kobe Brown and it starts with Hodge and Golson. All 3 of those guys average double-digit points. But Kobe Brown is a phenomenal player, 6'8", 250 pounds. He's tough to handle inside, and he gets his. You know, so Janai Broome will have his work cut out for him yet again, being able to defend. And, you know, again, where you got to not get beat is out on the perimeter. And this Missouri team, they shoot the 3 pretty well, and you just got to be able to defend. Like, you know, Auburn had to choose its poison Saturday. Are we going to let a team that averages 15 threes come in here and shoot, or are we going to give up points in the paint? Well, Auburn decided to give up the points in the paint, and you saw the discrepancy of that. But Auburn shut Alabama down from 3-point, and the strategy worked because it gave us a chance to win the game. We just didn't hit the shots when we needed.
And we can run down these shooting percentages, but this is a very good shooting Missouri team. There's not a single offensive number that will go down in the upcoming segment that doesn't favor Missouri in this matchup tonight.
Absolutely. I'll get us another break. Stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Country Clipper zero-turn mowers are designed for comfort, accessibility, and ease of use. Only Country Clipper offers your choice of steering options with industry-exclusive joystick steering or twin-lever steering. Their patented stand-up deck, standard on every model, allows for quick access to the underside of the deck for routine maintenance. With a wide front step and optional handrail, getting on or off your mower has never been easier. Stop by Fun Carts of Opelika today for a test drive. Country Clipper mowers, designed for you. Fun Carts of Opelika, located at 618 Lee Road, 113 in Opelika, Alabama.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our best rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
No monthly payments for 120 days at Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika. Check out the powerful new Chevrolet Silverado 4-wheel drive crew cabs discounted up to $7,500 off. The midsize Chevrolet Malibus up to $5,250 off. Shop online anytime at glennsmith.com. That's GLYNN Smith.com.
We have over 200 new and used vehicles on the ground or on the way. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Halfway through the program today, brought to you by Mortgage Pro there at McKinley Teen, J.A. Smith Construction, Big Fish Real Estate Group at Lake Martin, and Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores. Just glad to have 4 great businesses associated with our program. Randy, I'll kick it over to you. This team, we were kind of breaking it down a little bit. Some really good players on this Missouri team.
Well, Brett, not often that you see 7 players averaging 8+ points per game. But this Missouri team is going to throw 7 different guys that average over 8 points per game. Sean East, 8.2. Nick Hunter, 8.3, all the way up to Noah Carter, 9.3, and Isaiah Mosley, 9.6. No, they don't average in double figures, but I'd consider 8 points plus.
Oh, man.
Means consistently you're throwing somebody out there that's going to get you solid production.
Well, I was going to say, if they're averaging 8,
you
know, they're liable to put 14 up on you.
Yes.
You know, and then, you know, these guys up here that are averaging 14 to 16 points a game, if they have their normal night, you know, they can go for 20. So this is a team that scores in the 80s, man. You know, here's the thing. You know, this Auburn team does not score the basketball. Auburn had opportunities to beat Alabama with open shots, which was unbelievable. Auburn made some great, you know, plays on offense to open up some guys to get them clean looks from 10 to 15 foot. Can't hit the shot, man. And it's like either hit a random 3 or you drive to the goal and you can get some contact.
Well, the free throw line's the only thing kept Auburn in the
It's what kept Auburn in.
And we shot it well. We were 22 of 26 from the free throw line, and I think we had 9 more attempts from the free throw line than Alabama did, and so that really helped us out because we didn't shoot it well at all. But looking down at these stat totals, shooting that 22 of 26 is way above our average. We're a 69% free throw shooting team.
We had to have something like that to kind of help, bring it back to even. And Alabama crept the free throw opportunities up for them in the second half. They started going to the goal a little bit more instead of settling for deep threes. And Nate Oates said that at half. He's like, they're kicking our tail at the free throw line, and we're not getting there.
Yeah.
He said, we got to change that. And they did. And so Alabama got to the free throw line more in the second half, and it paid off for them as well. But tonight, the same recipe for this Auburn team. They're playing a team that averages about 10 more points a game than them. So they've got to make Missouri turn the basketball over. We've got to create some other opportunities. And you got to hit some daggum open shots, man. You're your own worst enemy when it comes down to it. Again, Auburn had plenty of opportunities with 4 minutes to go in that basketball game against Alabama. If they just hit some of those open shots, they're tied or even have a lead going into the last few minutes. So can they hit some open shots? I mean, that's going to be what it comes down to. And somebody has got to help Wendell Green, period. It can't be him scoring 24 points. And then you look around, and this guy puts in 7, this guy puts in 6. Janai Broome, again, is going to have a formidable opponent inside, and he's got to give you more than 7 points. And some of these losses, Randy, again, Janai Broome's been a big reason we've won some of these games too. But he's been a big reason in these losses that we haven't been able to find a way to win it because his point production inside, you look down, he's got 2 or 4 or maybe even 7.
Well, a huge difference between this team and last year, of course, is Walker Kessler down in the paint.
No doubt.
Janai Broome's an outstanding offensive player at times.
He's not a true big man.
He's also not a very good defender. He can block a few shots, but
Cardwell's a better defender.
Much better defender. I mean, Broome gets lazy on the defensive end if you watch him. And Alabama had 44 points in the lane. Mississippi State, if you remember back, State, the only reason we were able to win that basketball game is I think they made 0 from outside the three-point arc.
They went 0 for 19.
But they scored the ball at will at the bucket. So Auburn's just not been what we were last year with Kessler gone and the defensive presence of Broome. Yeah, we're better on the offensive end than we were last year down in the post with Janai Broome, in my opinion. But giving up so much on the defensive side that it's been tough to make up. But shooting percentage numbers for Missouri's all in their favor here tonight. I mean, they're a 48% field goal percentage shooting team. They shoot almost 37% from the three-point arc. Alabama only shot 35% from the three-point arc, and we all think of them as this excellent three-point shooting team. And it is because they put up a lot of them, but this Missouri team actually a better shooting team. Missouri shooting almost 76% from the free throw line, scoring 82 points per game. Vice versa, Auburn defensively, man. If Bruce Pearl gets this group to an NCAA tournament, it may be the best job he's done.
It's another great coaching job by him.
Because we're only giving up 65 points per game. We're playing our rear ends off defensively.
Oh, yeah, the efforts. And look, nobody's questioning coaching strategy. Again, I go back to the first segment. Sometimes you're just not as good.
Yeah. And we've all known that.
It just is what it is. I mean, when you lose 2 first-rounders and you bring 2 5-stars in, well, we're not going to expect to replace Jabari Smith and Walker Kessler, but we did go out and get 2 5-stars to come in that probably will see significant minutes, and they're not doing it.
Yeah.
So now your bench is a lot thinner, and I know I keep saying the same things over and over, but it's really that simple. You got guys out there playing their rear end off. Nobody's questioning effort. Chris Moore hadn't done very much lately. He's been a guy that – would come in, and he still gives you some minutes. But from time to time, he'd score, 6, 8, 10 points, and he's been non-existent. And I think coming off that shoulder injury, he hadn't gotten all the way back, and I think he's just giving you what he can give you. I think Leo Berman comes in, and if he gives you 6 points in a game, that's just 6 icing on the cake points for you. Not a cut on him. Not saying he can't play.
His effort's great defensively.
His efforts is great defensively, but he can't get a shot.
Well, it's not only that. Defensively, he gets beat off the dribble a lot.
Yeah, that's right.
And he makes up for it by effort. He'll make 2 or 3 effort plays while he's in there.
But he's not going to get a lot of minutes.
No. Well, I think his minutes have continued to increase, and I've wanted them to, because from an offensive standpoint, when the ball's up, when he's putting shots up, they look good.
If he's open, he hit them.
Just from an athleticism standpoint in the man defensive set, he's a liability on that end of the court, in my opinion. Look, I'm cheering for the guy, but he gave up some dribble drives to the basket that you would like to not have on Saturday.
Well, just a better athlete gets around you
Yeah.
sometimes. So, up against another break. Stay tuned. More Auburn Blitz right after this.
J.A. Smith Construction, with 19 years experience, is your trusted choice for construction. Site clearing and grading for new home construction, basement excavation, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 334-531-0199 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area.
LMG Ad Agency is the go-to vendor for all your digital and print marketing needs. We have in-house production for all projects, including graphic design, web design, social media marketing, videography, and print marketing. Our video production is up to industry standard with modern 4K cameras and drone capabilities. We pride ourselves in client-committed relationships, and every project is personalized to your needs. Visit lmgadagency.com for a free quote today. Let us tell your story.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama. Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
WAXC TV3's Basketball Game of the Week is presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet Buick GMC on the Columbus Parkway in Opelika. Get ready to smile. Catch game replays on WAXC TV3 and on our Roku app. Games replay Monday and Friday at 8 p.m. and also Saturday and Sunday at 6:30. Catch the replays of these games airing now from Glenn Smith Chevrolet Buick GMC in Opelika and WAXC TV3.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Couple segments left in today's show. John comes in and says, greetings, guys. Several weeks back, y'all referenced a corridor in the area where y'all are developing or business and real estate perspective. Can y'all specifically tell us what corridor, Highway County Road? It's 63.
Yeah.
It's the one we were talking about. Highway 63 is under significant development. A lot of things going on.
Well, and we can give you exactly why. I mean, Russell Lands has got a new development, a brand new golf course being built on Wicker Point.
Right.
They've got, 100 home sites that are already kind of underway. You know, I think the first 50 that went out for sale sold in the first day.
Right.
And all of them
there was a list, I believe.
Very high numbers out there. I don't want to throw exact numbers out there, but we can all speculate on what each of those homes on average are going to appraise for. So it's going to everything, of course, when you add that many affluential homes and people that are moving to the area, it's going to bring up a lot of things down Highway 63. So in Alexander City, hey, it's a strong time to be here. 280's really grown. A lot of good retail that's opened up. The wharf has opened up here recently.
Went Sunday for the first time, and it's outstanding.
So, you know, from a business standpoint, a lot of hopes that we had 10, 15 years ago when so many of us were serving on one board after another, including you and myself, a lot of those business things are starting to come around. And let's don't kid ourselves. One of the key reasons is one of those sponsors you see down there in Russell. Russell Lands and what they're bringing to the community and the developments that they're bringing, the money that they're bringing in is helping all of us.
Absolutely, no doubt. So there you go. John Ty says, good luck tonight to Benjamin Russell. We'll be in action against Pelham at 6 the same time. Auburn tips off against Missouri. He said,
Brett and I'll be over there to broadcast tonight, by the way. You can tune in 97.5 Kalijah Country.
Right.
NFHS maybe tonight. We're still kind of working through that. We'll see if we will be there. But you definitely can tune us in on the radio call.
Also, ESPN Bracketology, he said Auburn a 10 seed against Northwestern in the first round. This thing's going to ebb and flow over the next few weeks, depending.
It won't be a 10 seed if you don't win a majority of the rest of these games in the SEC. I think 21 minimum, you get to 22 wins, you're probably going to make it in. I think that's the magic number for all.
When you start, really you're at large spots. When you get past the 10, 11 seed, maybe a 12, that 13, 14, 15, and 16 seed are all mid-major conference tournament winning, so you really only have a small window. It's not as big as people think. Small window to get in the tournament, and you're battling a lot of these other teams that have similar records, and so if you're getting a 10 to 12 seed, you're at the very end of getting in the tournament. Really, that's really what that's saying. So we'll see how it all plays out. Again, Auburn's got opportunity for sure. There's a couple different ways to look at it. They got a stretch here coming up of 4 games that are very winnable. Let's fast forward a little bit and let's talk a little bit about Auburn softball this past weekend down in Clearwater, Florida. Off to a great start. This was a team that Mickey Dean said could be possibly the best team he's ever coached. That's everywhere he's ever been, and Mickey Dean's he's a Hall of Fame softball coach. His record's unbelievable, and that says a lot. And you wanted to see how Auburn played. You wanted to see how the pitch. You knew you had Shelby Lowe and Matty Penta back healthy, and you wanted to see how Auburn hit the softball. Well, they shut out 4 of their 5 opponents. They won 4 of those 5 games, and got into a nail biter with Pittsburgh. Gave up 8 runs. I didn't see the game. I don't know how that game played out, but Auburn lost 8-7, and they lost right at the very end. So But you wanted to see how it all kind of played out. Auburn ruled Fordham and Illinois. They beat Indiana 9-0. They beat St. John 6-0. And then again, that lost that nail biter to Pitt. So we'll see how it all plays out. But Matty Penta got 15 innings of work, 8 hits, 0 runs, given up, and 31 Ks. Man.
No walks.
No walks. No walks by any of the 3 that sophomore Annabelle Wedra. No walks for her, 10 Ks, and Shelby Lowe, 8 Ks in 4 2/3 innings, and no walks. So
good start to the season. Again, Auburn power numbers is where we've got to get back to. If we can get it back to the championship caliber that we had maybe 5 or 6 years ago, it was because Auburn had the great pitching. But more importantly, they were able to go to the plate. And in this sport, if you can go to the plate and you knock the ball out of the park, it separates you from the opposition. So hopefully we'll see that, and Auburn off to a good start with 4 out of 5 wins.
Absolutely. Let's go over and talk a little baseball, some changes in the SEC for baseball coming up. The Southeastern Conference implement new initiatives and rules in this season, reduce game times and elevate the fan experience. The changes apply to the conference versus conference games and the SEC tournament. So between batters clock, a 30-second timer between hitters shall start at the conclusion of a prior play as indicated by the umpire's final signal of safe or out, or other clear indication that the prior play has concluded. Consistent with NCAA pitch clock protocols, the batter shall be alert to the pitcher with 10 seconds or more remaining, and the pitcher shall begin the motion to deliver the pitch of the at-bat prior to the expiration of the 30-second clock. Do you like a 30-second clock in this?
Well, I tell you why I like all of this is because the thing that I've noticed the last few years is pretty much all college baseball games, you got accessibility to watch on TV now.
Right.
And you think back 15, 20 years ago, if you had a chance to watch an Auburn baseball game, it was kind of a special time,
kind of
you know, and you made sure that you did that. Now, if I want to go find the game, they're there to watch.
Yeah,
and so I think
ESPN Plus has them all.
I think it becomes more and more important that it's an enjoyable experience sitting there watching these games on television. You can ask, why does that matter when you're talking about SEC play? Well, all of this revolves around money, of course. And so the more enjoyable that it is, the more opportunities that you and I that may not be at the game can sit there and watch it.
Right.
And I would like this sport to grow. I like coaches to grow. I'd like the scholarship limitation to grow. I'd like more of the money to be.
And they're working on it. You can tell they're putting a little bit more.
I think more things like this, which will bring more cash flow into the league from television rights, would be really helpful.
Pretty big rule change in SEC play. When we come back, we'll keep running those down. Final segment coming up right after this.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce. Because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
OGS Tournaments. Russell Marine and State Farm agent Aaron Warren present Crank for Bank 2023, April 1st through July 4th. Win over $1.5 million in cash and prizes. Over 200 tag bass and 50 tag crappie are waiting on you. All ages are welcome. Fish from the dock, boat, or shores of Lake Martin. Get registered now online at crankforbank.com for only $110 for 13 weeks of fishing. It's Crank for Bank 2023.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our best rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Attention! Have you or a loved one been diagnosed with cancer after using Zantac or other heartburn medications for several months? You may be entitled to compensation. Call Zantac Justice now for a free legal case review. The FDA has warned that Zantac and other medications containing heartburn drug ranitidine may be contaminated with cancer-causing agent NDMA. Consult your physician prior to discontinuing any use of medication.
Please call 800-379-5986.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to hear is true, and the names have been changed because Brubaker Motors has sold to Sons Automotive. You heard right. Brubaker Kia is now Sons Kia of Montgomery. Furthermore, Sons Automotive is a family business with dealerships throughout the Southeast. The name Sons Automotive is synonymous with trust, and they care about the communities they're a part of. They're excited to serve the River region, and in the interest of justice, you will be served a sentence of big savings. Sons Kia of Montgomery, family owned, family driven.
Welcome back, everyone. Final segment here on the Auburn Blitz. Brett and Randy here, a few more minutes. Just real quick, a couple big rule changes. SEC will implement a 10-run rule for the conference games. The policy stipulates that the contest shall be stopped after 7 innings if one team is ahead by at least 10 runs. All right, so that's a big deal. And then this is an even bigger deal. On Sundays, the revised inclement weather policy, if a team does not have to be back, have classes, or have a curfew situation, it can be waived and the team can stay and play that game. Last year, the Auburn-Alabama game got canceled after a couple of innings. Mm-hmm. And after a certain amount of time, they just canceled it because technically Alabama had to get back on the road. So that's a big change as well. Terry, what's going on, man?
Randy, how y'all doing today?
Man, we're great. How are you, buddy?
Fantastic. Hey, any Auburn fan that don't believe this ain't the biggest game of the year tonight has probably thought Brian Harsin was doing a solid job. So it's huge. Randy, I'm in full agreement with you. I think it's going to take 21 to wins, and I don't think it ever hurt to get a couple of wins in the tournament either, quite honestly. So the more you get past 21, the better. Big ain't the word. I mean, it really is. It's a must-win. You have to win this game. You cannot lose this game. Because then going to Tuscaloosa or something, that becomes an almost have to win, and you can't put yourself in that kind of position.
Well, you're no doubt. To me tonight, and I hate to be Debbie Downer, if we lose this one, we may not make the tournament.
I agree. I agree. And then all the jokes about going to the NIT and all that, which I think is a joke. And I will not watch an NIT game. I will not participate. I will not participate in any way. I will not watch it, listen to it. I don't care. I don't care, and I think that's the attitude of a lot of Auburn fans. Because, Bruce Pearl, I still believe, guys, and I know I'm in the minority here, that Bruce Pearl has somewhat painted himself into a corner with some of these guards he's got, and that are ball hogs. Wendell Green, namely, even though, guys, I'm hard on him. He played his rear end off Saturday against Alabama. I'll give him credit for that. But the guy that didn't show up was Jani Broome.
That's right.
And some people don't like me saying this, and I don't care, but Bruce Pearl got out-coached bad, and he's a better coach than Nate Oates. So it's kind of the argument. Y'all remember a few years ago when the Miami Heat beat the Spurs in the NBA Finals?
Right.
I said, does anybody out there believe Eric Spoelstra is a better coach than Greg Popovich? No. They said no. I said, well, he's got a title over Greg Popovich. So, if you go by that rule, and then of course, that's different. That's always their argument. That's different. So it's to say it's big is not even. It's not even. It's just incredibly huge. I mean,
biggest game in Auburn history.
I'm sorry.
Biggest game in Auburn history, right?
Close to it. Probably close to it in basketball history because, like Gus Malzahn's first year at Auburn, now Bruce Pearl has raised the bar, and it's a bar he's got to maintain. He's got to maintain that height, or if he's going to start getting criticized, and that's just the nature of the business. He doesn't need to be, but he will be.
Yeah, I mean, it comes with the territory. So I think he understands the challenge, and I think. At the end of the day, he knows what Auburn's got to do to get to the tournament, and I think he's challenged the team. We'll see if they can do it.
Well, the last thing, guys, you were talking about Chance Westry. The fact that the guard play shows you just how much he was counting on him.
Absolutely. And, one thing you can't look at and account for going into a season is who's going to be injured. And injuries are part of the game, but, again, when you are thin and that happens to be a guy that you do lose, it really hurts about tenfold.
Well, I said that was the last thing. I have one more thing. Y'all talk, I'm going to hang up here. But do you think there'll be turnover? Do you think some guys will be back? Because I don't. I see Wendell Green packing, quite honestly. Take care, guys. Y'all have a good week. Have a good day.
Thank you, Terry. Appreciate it. I don't want to get into how this roster is going to look until this season's over. I mean, let's kind of be fair to the players and speculation. I don't know who knows who leaves. And I mean, this is a totally different world now when it comes to the transfer portal and all that kind of stuff. So will there be changes? Yeah, there'll be changes. Will there be some new guys and new faces? Will Trey Orey be a totally different player next year? Will he be a year more mature? Will he feel more comfortable? Maybe so. We don't know. Take some guys a little bit longer to acclimate than others. Some people can jump right in. Others go, man, I'm good, but I'm a little bit over my head right now. I got to get better in some things. So we'll see.
I think he will be the biggest question mark going into the offseason is whether he can extend his play out to be a solid SEC player. Because right now, with his size, but his athleticism and his speed and his agility out there on the court is not to go along with the size that he has. I mean, he's just, if you throw him down in the post, he's not a 5, and we're needing him to defend a 4 or 5. He's more of a long 3 out there playing, but he doesn't have the agility to play that 3.
All right, wrapping it up here on this day, we do happy birthdays, and Mel Allen, Randy, the voice of the Yankees, born on this day in 1913. Born where? Birmingham, Alabama.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
Wow. Some of your better announcers, including Red Barber, who was the Brooklyn Dodgers and moved over to the L.A. Dodgers, the announcer, also from the state of Alabama. Did you know that?
There's a lot of famous people, that you think about overall that came from this state.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in sports, whether it be sportscasters or athletes like a Hank Aaron or whoever it is that you think of. Woody Hayes, man, born on this day, also in 1913. Something else, buddy. Woody Hayes.
You want to go ahead and punch
him right in the face.
Player
punch him right in the head. Florence Henderson. Do you know who Florence Henderson is?
I do.
Carol Brady.
Yeah.
Born on this day in 1934. Passed away in 2016. Teller of Penn and Teller, born on this day in 1948.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
I don't either.
Don't care nothing about it.
So I don't watch it.
Jim Kelly, born on this day in 1960, and has fought and survived cancer.
He's whooped cancer at this point. I mean, hopefully it doesn't get him anytime soon, but, man, he's probably outlived the expectation by 15 years, hasn't he?
No doubt.
Yep.
No doubt. Drew Bledsoe, born on this day in 1972. Rob Thomas of Matchbox 20. You a big Matchbox 20 fan?
I liked them back in the day, yeah.
1972 as well, and Steve McNair, born this day 1973 and died.
Such a tough, unfortunate
2009. So that's going to wrap it up for the Auburn Blitz. Again, we have enjoyed it. We hope you have. See you next time.